cloud. So we're recording, all three of us on Zoom at the same time. Wow.
Four of us.
Oh, yes, don't forget Maisie. So we've all come together today to talk about our Dailies project and what the future is going to hold for it. So we started it, let's see, what was the date? It was, I can remember because it was just after my eldest birthday, it was the 19th of March. So it was about 5 days before lockdown.
And may I say, Em, what a brilliant idea it was. To have the Recovery Devon Facebook page COVID-free, as I think we pretty much maintained that throughout, but also to do the dailies in the first place. I think we didn't anticipate at first quite what it would entail, but also we all of us mentioned that if we'd said a couple of months before we started at a board meeting that we were going to produce, what is it now, 85 dailies over this period, and they would all be different, and they would all feature different members and different partners that we work with and selected guests. I think the board would have just said, no, that's not possible. But we did it, and thanks to modern technology, for which we're very grateful, but also thanks to a lot of hard work from the team. 85 dailies, indeed.
Amazing. And it's been such a team effort, hasn't it? So we've had, of course, our development fund that was all systems go, and we had projects all raring to go. Nearly all of them involved face-to-face contact. So as soon as lockdown officially happened, 5 days later, 5 days after we finished our dailies, we put the word out to development fund award winners. Would anybody like to collaborate? We're really pleased with the response that we got from all of them, and also from members of the board. Again, people who never even thought of putting themselves in front of a camera were just willing to do it. It was a real community spirit that happened. So yeah, I would try and list them all, but I probably would forget somebody, so I'm not going to attempt to. But you know, big thank you to everybody who's given us a daily. Anybody got any highlights that they would like to share from the 85?
Oh, has Sami frozen?
Oh, we've lost Sami again.
Oh, we've lost Sami.
Let's see if she comes back.
She's back. So Sami, give a highlight. We
were just saying, have we got any highlights from the 85? Any that really stand out? Do you want to start again?
I think this is good. Keep going.
Keep it. Sami's got the giggles.
I just was worried about what kind of face I was frozen into then.
No, it was a really nice, calm, interested face, which is again why we didn't notice. It just looked like you were deep in thought.
Just deep in thought. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Highlights. So probably just all the people that we've collaborated with, and hearing all of those different voices and the different themes. So what have we? I don't even know what we've had. There's all so many of them. We had Jaki from A Doddle. Her videos were quite a highlight of mine. They were quite interesting. Lots of different tips and stuff that she gave over to people. And then we had some from Stefan, Neon. Some really nice stories there, some really powerful stories that were amazing to hear. That was just incredible that people were filming for us, that we could put out there for people. Just hearing all of those different things that people think of when they hear of recovery, or I can do a video on recovery. And they were all just so diverse and just, amazing. Yeah.
I think for me, one of my favourites was the silent one from Horsemanship For Health, where you could just hear the wind and the birds and see the horses on the sunrise. And for me, it was just lovely to have one that kind of didn't have anyone speaking. It just had nature. And that I found that one really quite peaceful to watch, and it helped me at that point. Another one I remember doing myself, which was my very first, in fact, it's been my only live Facebook one, which I did from my car out of the car park. And of course, it was my birthday as well. And I spent the first 8 minutes presenting to a live audience of just me, and then realised I hadn't pressed record. And also because it was my birthday, and because I was in not a new car, but a different car. I was, well, I suppose the medical term might be elevated. And I did receive a number of emails asking if I was okay. Fortunately, I was, but yeah, that one sticks in my mind anyway.
Yeah, there was one for me as well that I did somewhere around about day 10 when lockdown had just happened, and I think we can probably speak about COVID now finally, can't we? But the peak was starting to really accelerate, and I was worried for some members of my family and some colleagues and friends for different things. And I did one on fear, and it was genuinely from the heart, but I had a lot of people afterwards get in touch with me afterwards and said, you look really sad today, are you okay? So that's been an interesting side effect as well of the whole thing, is how it's brought the community, the Recovery Devon community together, but also, you know, family and friends together. So, and it's been interesting coming up with ideas for them as well, hasn't it? How your whole life becomes an opportunity to think about, oh, could this make a nice daily? And I know members of our board, so Glenn and Marie and Debbie, they've all sent me, that was another highlight for me when they started my phone started to buzz, and it would be, oh, there's another video from Glenn, or oh great, Debbie's taken one today, and seeing people getting involved, that was really great. But how did you guys get some of your ideas for dailies?
Oh, they kind of just, I mean, it was much easier at the beginning when you know, you got a list of the ideas of what you're going to do, and then as time goes by and you're hitting 85, it's like my list is getting shorter and shorter. But it kind of, for me anyway, it kind of became about what was relevant for me in the moment. So my last one was about looking after yourself, with everything kind of becoming a bit more like moving, like changing, and I noticed that I was feeling anxious about it. So actually maybe that's what my daily would be about, because if I was feeling anxious about all the change, maybe somebody else out there would be. And so before it was, okay, what, when I think of recovery, what should I do a video on? But now it's, okay, what might be helpful right now in this moment? I don't know if that's the same for you guys, but that's how I found it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, for me, I took a lot of inspiration from across the road in my garage, and I went over there once to do one on hobbies, and I remember firing up my motorbike, and that was quite a big moment for me. But then whilst in the garage, I got the idea for two more, just one from looking at the signs on the wall, my little collection. So I did one on early warning signs, and then seeing the toolbox, I did one on the wellness toolbox. So that just shows how one idea will spark and generate more. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, but I also realized now we're at 85, I was running out quickly of ideas and things in the garage. I mean, I don't think anyone was going to be interested in a Allen key or something. by week 15 or whatever. So yeah, I was quite keen to well, I suppose we all were in a way. We perhaps appreciated that we were, I wouldn't say running out of ideas, let's say that there are plenty of recovery themes and things to draw upon, but also the situation has changed, hasn't it? I mean, we've talked about how we brought this in at the start of a worldwide pandemic. The world was changing very rapidly for so many people, including many of our community across Devon, and we felt the need to do something, which we did. But obviously the world has changed again, and actually now lockdown restrictions are slowly being eased. There is a sense of returning to some sort of normality, or let's say the new normal, whatever that is going to look like. So I think we felt that now was about the right time that we stepped them down from being daily, and this is where we're going to introduce now the idea of doing a weekly. So we're hoping that on a Friday at midday from tomorrow onwards, we're going to bring you a weekly, and this will be a little bit of a summary of what we've been up to. So myself and Sami will feature as well, but we also hope to bring in our guests as well. So some of the people we've been working with, some who we still wish to work with, and that's where the invitation to you is there as well. So if you'd like to join us for a weekly, then we can arrange to do it in a Zoom recording as we're doing now. And then we can share some more recovery ideas, some more recovery news, what opportunities are out there. So that's our plan from tomorrow onwards. So that's kind of the news that we wanted to share with you today, that the dailies are switching to weeklies. And it's probably also worth noting that we are really keen to not measure, but actually find out how you've been receiving the dailies as well. Obviously, we've put them out on Facebook. They're slowly being uploaded to our YouTube channel as well. But we've really enjoyed seeing the likes and the reactions on Facebook and the comments you've put. We're really appreciative of that. And I suppose if you've got anything that you'd like to share with us, that you'd like to say outside of social media, then please do email us here. Possibly the best one to use is recoverydevon@gmail.com, and then I can share it from there with Em and Sami, and also the board would love to hear from you as well. So please get in touch if these have helped in any way. Even if they've hindered, I mean, let us know if you've been put off by our dailies. We kind of need to hear that. So that's the invitation there, is to let us know how you found them, whether they've been helpful, and any ideas you may have for Recovery Devon going forward. Just on this theme, we have a strategy day coming up when the board are going to be meeting to talk about what opportunities there are for Recovery Devon in this new world. And some of those opportunities we've discussed amongst ourselves already, but we're keen to hear from you as well. We want to know what would benefit the recovery community across Devon. We have in the past, as Recovery Devon, felt a little restricted by limited capacity and limited resources, but we're now in a phase where we want to embrace new opportunities. And one of our funders who helped actually fund some of the Recovery Devon dailies, Devon Community Foundation, through their Response and Recovery to COVID fund, we're going to be exploring opportunities with them and with other funders to see if we can undertake a more, let's say, a more, what's the word? I don't know.
Collaborative?
Ambitious. Well, I was thinking more ambitious. Word. Yeah, a more ambitious line of work than we have perhaps in the past. So we're raising our ambitions, and that's largely been down to this team that you're seeing now. Em and Sami have brought with them bearing in mind they started on January the 1st, so we're very much thrown into this situation at an early stage in their time with Recovery Devon. But actually, what they've brought is a new sense of momentum and a new sense of hope for Recovery Devon, but also for what we can do across Devon. So I'm kind of saying thank you to Em and Sami now as my colleagues for the work that they've brought and done so far, but also to say to you out there that we're keen to do more.
Yeah, and also a big thank you to everybody that's provided us with videos, and a big thank you to the people that have watched the videos. You know, the people that have tuned in at midday every day to watch them and put comments and shared them and liked them and told people about them. Just a big thank you to you. That it's been so nice seeing people join in with us and, you know, join in with the things that we've done over this time. So like the Mental Health Awareness Week with all the daisies, that was amazing seeing them come in.
Yes, gosh, I forgot about that already. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and it was great to make a video of how to make a daisy, getting the family involved in it, kind of not being a strict daily, being a bit more of a relaxed daily, and so yeah, just a big thank you to everybody that joined in and shared with us their thoughts on how everything was going and tuning in, really.
Yeah, and we'll keep on sharing stuff every day. You know, our social media presence is strong, so the investment of time and energy in making a video every day has been quite significant, and we've been really, really glad to do it. But we will be staying in touch with you via social media, but it won't necessarily be a video of us talking, but we'll still be blogging and sharing and letting you know about all the good stuff that's happening in Devon and beyond.
It might be in form of a podcast.
It might, well, yeah, we've got our podcast going now as well, haven't we? We've got some things coming up. And we said that we wanted to thank our individual, it feels like the Oscars, doesn't it? But our special little helpers at home. So because we've done it in such an organic way, I've sometimes had my kids wandering in, and at one stage I had guinea pigs on my lap. And so I want to say a really big thank you to my 2 kids who've helped not only to record them, but to come up with ideas, and providing a cup of tea when mum's a bit tired has been a big thank you. So yeah, thanks kids. How about you guys? Who's been helping you?
I'm not sure I would class Freddie as helping me, but she has taught me how to multitask, and she has taught me how to maybe let go of wanting a perfect video by sometimes mooing in the background and roaring like a lion. But no, she has helped, and my partner has helped as well by giving me the space to do it, and doing one himself as well.
Yes, well done,
braving the camera. So but that's enough about him, otherwise he'll get a big head. So how about you, James?
Yeah, well, of course I'd like to thank Maisie, because she's been a real companion during lockdown, and brings so much comfort. And those of you who have a dog or a cat or a pet of some kind will know that the comfort they can bring, and companionship, and how vital that is to many of our recoveries. So yes, thank you to Maisie. She does take a real interest in Zoom. She's gone out with Mum now for a walk, but when I'm on is exactly the time that she decides to jump on my lap and take an interest. And I think it's the moving faces that she gets quite intrigued with. So yeah, so a big thank you to Maisie, and of course Leslie for. We've been working from home together. I'm in the living room. Leslie's office is the dining room. We have an office upstairs that neither of us use because we kind of want to be connected. So thank you to Leslie, my wife, for being so accommodating and letting me record and ask her to be silent at times and not swear.
Yeah, not swearing has been a challenge for me sometimes as well. There's been a few things on the cutting room floor that have been a bit sweary. Usually when like my phone's fallen over or something like that, and I realise I've recorded the ceiling for the last 3 minutes instead of my face, which might have been better actually.
Before we finish, I just want to say a couple more things because we'll have to draw this to a close soon.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say about the daisy chain, how that was our first year of running a daisy chain, and it was in the shift from being a yarn bombing out in towns and villages with daisies, partly because of the infection risk, was to have them in windows, and that was partly inspired by, of course, the rainbows and things in support of NHS and carers and key workers. So we went to daisies and windows, and okay, it was lovely seeing the photos, but we would like to make this an annual thing now, so that during every mental health awareness week from now on, we would like Devon, and then as far as it can spread from Devon, for people to share daisies in their windows during mental health awareness week, not only in support of everyone who's struggling with their mental health during these times, but also importantly in support of all those who work in mental health services in the statutory sector and the voluntary sector, supporting people who are struggling with their mental health. So the daisy chain will be an annual thing. And I also wanted to bring up the fact that, very sadly, we had to postpone our Recovery Rising Festival this year. It was due to take place on July the 3rd, so not very far away. And of course, we had to move it to next year. So it is now scheduled for June the 26th next year at the University of Exeter in the Forum. We're hoping to pick this up again with our contributors fairly soon. So we kind of have a lot of the planning in place. We're just hoping that people's availability will remain so for next June. But what we're hoping to do on this July the 3rd, which is a Friday, if I'm not mistaken, we're hoping to, on this channel, run a series of all the dailies so that you'll have a continual feed of dailies. I might take the day off that day. I'm sure you'll forgive me that. But yes, we'll hopefully have the string of dailies going through.
Yeah. So for the last time, I guess, at the end of days, we always say something like, until tomorrow, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you at noon. But I guess it's in a week now. I suppose I would want to say to everybody out there that we've also noticed the dailies are getting watched less often, which is absolutely as it should be as the world changes. So if you miss us, if in the strange eventuality that you do miss us, we are still here. So come on to the Recovery Devon website and you can find all of our contact details and get in touch. So, and we'd love to hear from anybody who wants to contribute going forward. So next time we three see each other, it might actually be in person at a suitable social distance.
That is a good point. Yes,
Yeah.
We're hoping to have our team meeting, aren't we? On Timoth Beach, I believe, is the location that we've chosen. So yes, very much looking forward to that. It will be all 2 meters, and bring a chair. So yes, very much looking forward to that. And I suppose to wrap this up, a big thank you to everyone, even if you've only watched a daily for 3 seconds, and we do know who you are because we have statistics on our Facebook page analytics. So we know some of you haven't watched them briefly, which is fine. And actually, Em saying that we're getting less views, I think she's just referring to mine, which we're getting less views. And Em's and Sami's have still proved very popular. In fact, some broke our Facebook records. I think Em's grief spiral in particular was shared a number of times, and that was just because it was a beautifully constructed and presented video on grief that touched many people. So thank you, Em, for that. And Sami, yours too. You've done some brilliant ones for us, and I think that's been a lovely thing about them, is that we kept the variety there. I think if we'd have carried on much longer, we might have struggled to maintain that variety. So thank you to both of you. Thank you to the fellow board members that contributed, and all our partners, all the people we've worked with. Thank you to the Devon Community Foundation for giving us some funding to pay those people. We felt that was important. So let's just try and think. There was Horsemanship for Health. There was Organic Arts. Jim Jones, the musician. Jaki from the Dodwell.
Rebekah Horton.
Yes, Rebekah Horton. What a beautifully crafted series of creative writing that was from Rebekah. Indeed, yes. Thank you for that.
Neon.
It's All About You. Neon.
It's All About You. Oh, the It's All About You team.
They were amazing. They're a big hit in my house. It's All About You. Yeah.
They were fantastic. Yes. Thank you, Max, and for allowing us to show those videos to our audiences as well. They were incredibly powerful. Thank you. I think we're kind of done, aren't we, folks?
I think we are.
I think so, yeah.
So goodbye, and thank you for supporting our dailies, and we wish you all well, and we won't see you at noon tomorrow. We'll see you at noon next week.
Next Friday. Make it a day.
Yeah, next Friday. Yeah. And stay safe, everyone, and keep in touch with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wash your hands.
Bye.
Bye.